I don't know if you remember this, but back in 2018, President Trump signed the Right to Try Act into law, which would help people with deadly diseases try experimental treatments. President Trump called it a fundamental freedom that could save lives. As you can imagine, the law gave a sense of hope to many families. Now, let me show you real quick. There's flash forward now 3 years. A New Jersey wife and mother of 3 is holding out hope because of this law that this bill will allow her to obtain a life-extending drug for a rare form of ALS that she contracted, so that she can be there for some of the major milestones in the lives of her 3 boys. Take a listen to her.
I need the drug now. I hope Biden will help me live longer.
Finally, an opportunity for a law to really impact people's lives. An unbelievably important story. So to discuss this, let's bring in Lisa Stockman Mauriello and her husband, Bob Mauriello. Thank you both for joining us.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for airing this important story.
It's my honor to do it. First off, obviously, our hearts go out to you and your family. I cannot imagine how extremely difficult this is. So first, thank you for sharing it with us, and we hope that somehow we can help get some change that's needed. So walk me through what day-to-day life has been for you guys and how the disease has impacted your family and your boys.
Sure. Well, in some ways, it's like it's always been. We've gone to our son's soccer games, track meets. We went for a walk on the beach earlier today, we watch our favorite shows, but in some ways it's really different. Like when we went for the walk on the beach, I was pushing my wife in a wheelchair instead of walking side by side. We spend a good chunk of our days doing basic things like feeding my wife now through a feeding tube or doing her hair. We joke that I have Salon Roberto. My name's Bob or Robert, so I've been doing her hair, getting skilled at that. So some things are similar, but some things have changed for the worse. But we've continued to have the support of our friends and family. Before and after, we've continued to spend time with our boys. So some things haven't changed.
You know, I remember when President Trump signed this bill into law, the Right to Try Act, and he was talking about people who are in exactly your situation, who know that there's an experimental drug out there and are trying to get access to it because they know it can help and they're willing to do whatever it takes to try it. And I know that you guys are waiting on this pharmaceutical company, Biogen, to grant access to this medication. The FDA would likely approve use of it. So what's the status of where it stands with this company, Biogen?
Biogen has told us no 3 times now. We've heard no from the CEO, from the chief medical officer, and from their head of research and development. But we continue trying to push. I mean, I think any of us would, right? If your spouse was injured or sick and there was something that you knew that could help them. We're reaching out to Biogen through very multiple channels. We have a change.org petition that's been signed by almost 100,000 people. Our Congressman Tom Malinowski, one of our senators, Cory Booker, have reached out. They've reached out both to Biogen and the FDA. We've just tried to do whatever we can to come up with a creative solution. We're really not trying to vilify Biogen here because the work that they've done to come this close has been incredible. But as you said, the Right to Try legislation was put in place just to help people like Lisa. We're in phase 3 trials for Toverson. It's so close. It's shown some really promising results. And if it could extend her life even for a few more months so she gets to see our 3 sons graduate from college, high school, and 8th grade, hopefully see our middle son off to college, that's really what we're asking for. We're not asking for special treatment, just to take advantage of the mechanisms that are already in place.
So I just want to be clear, though, that like your healthcare providers, your doctors tell you that this drug has a promising potential to help extend Lisa's life.
Absolutely. Dr. Neil Snyder at Columbia Presbyterian, who's one of the leading researchers in ALS, has said on the record that this is her best chance for extending her life, given the progress that they've seen with other patients.
You know, Lisa, I know you recently retired. You had a 30-year, really impressive career in the pharmaceutical industry. And you've spent a lot of your career, from what I understand, helping to get the message out about how these companies, pharmaceutical companies, help people. You know, it's got to hurt to be on the other side where now you want the companies to help someone like you in this position.
Yeah, it's definitely ironic.
I don't know if you could hear her. She said it's definitely ironic. And it's frustrating. And we understand that Biogen is doing some great work, and they really want to help the most ALS, the greatest number of ALS patients they can. And we don't think these goals are mutually exclusive. The compassionate use and the expanded access plans were put in place to help people like Lisa. She's not interested in slowing down FDA approval for this life-extending drug for thousands of ALS patients. She's just trying to get access through either compassionate use, or even if they want to extend the phase 3 trials just a little bit. The trial closed at year end, and she was diagnosed literally a week later.
So if
they could just...
So I'm sorry, so if she had been diagnosed just a little bit earlier, she could have gotten into that trial.
Yeah, absolutely. Her doctor thinks that she's a great candidate. And I understand not wanting to delay the FDA process, but if there's a way that we can have like a trial 3B, where some folks with Lisa's fast progressing form of ALS are allowed. And she's not even saying it would be great if they gave her tofersen, but even to give her the same chance,
right.
You know, the tagline we've been using is fighting chance. Even if she's randomized, and maybe she gets the placebo, but at least then she'll have a chance of getting the real thing. Right now, she has zero chance for this life-extending drug.
Real quick, what can our viewers do to help?
Well, there's a few things. We have a change.org petition, which has been signed by almost 100,000 people already in about 10 or 11 days. Thank you for showing it there. We're also, if you could reach out to your congressional delegations, as I mentioned, Tom Malinowski has been great. Senator Booker's office has been very helpful as well. And maybe they can put some pressure on Biogen as well. But this isn't just about Lisa. This is about all patients who are suffering from ALS, and specifically this fast progressing form of ALS.
This is exactly what President Trump was trying to do. I know this is what he wanted this to be about. I'm sorry, Lisa, did you?
Well, one other thing, we do have a prayer group tonight at 7:30. So if you go to Facebook, Fighting Chance for Lisa, there's a link there if anyone wants to participate in our prayer group at 7:30.
Okay. Thank you both for sharing this important story, and our thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family.
Thank you for airing it, Sean.
You bet. All right, just to be clear, we did reach out to Biogen, and here's the statement that they provided us, which was providing individual access to tofersen at this time could jeopardize access to tofersen for hundreds of SOD1 ALS patients by impeding our ability to complete the study and seek subsequent regulatory approvals. We're acting as quickly as possible with all the interests of all patients in mind within the current regulatory framework, with the hope of bringing new medicines to the ALS community. End of quote there. I'm not sure that that's what is going to help Lisa, but hopefully they see this and change their mind.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.